Hey guys, how's it going out there today? I hope you're doing really well. It's a bit of a dark and miserable day here in Tokyo, Japan. It's Saturday afternoon and this is Sunday evening's video, but it's raining. It's been raining all day and I'm stuck indoors. Finally, my little girl has gone for her afternoon nap and that means I can shoot you guys a video. And if you guys are new to the channel, this is your first time dropping by, thank you very much. Or if you're a repeat viewer and you've watched 540 consecutive days of my content, thank you very much for doing that too. I truly appreciate it. But today what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the second of a pair of sneakers. The first of that pair is these guys right here, the rugged orange. And then the second pair is what we're looking at today, the Nike Air Foamposite Pro USA. And I'm calling them a pair because for me, they first sort of came out, they started being talked about on social media, on the internet, on websites and things like that at almost exactly the same time. But then the rugged oranges came very quickly with promotional materials, official images, that kind of stuff. And these guys, the USA's, lagged behind real bad, and I'm talking like 3 or 4 weeks. So they dropped, not dropped, but the content started coming at the same time. The rugged oranges just came out real fast, but these guys, it's taken 3 extra weeks to get them to that same place. And that's why there's 3 weeks between these two videos. But for me, when I saw both of these shoes for the very first time, I was like, yes, definitely at the channel, making a video about those. But this now, finally, the USA's turn. It's taken that long to get a video together about these guys. So without further ado, let's get into that video, which is about the Nike Air Foamposite Pro USA. This is the Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi upsuno no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And like I said already, today it's all about that Nike Air Foamposite Pro USA. And we already had a look back at those burnt oranges, which are a Foamposite 1, so it's a slightly different silhouette, slightly different construction to the shoe, even though there are very many similarities between the two Foamposites. But this one today is a Pro, and I always say at the start of a video about pros or ones, I just point to that big old swoosh on the side and say if it's got a big old swoosh on the side, it's a pro, and if it doesn't, then it's usually a one. So that's an easy way to tell the difference between the two. It's a bit like Jordan 1s with the mid and the high. Sometimes it's like, which one is it, a mid or a high? And if you look at the eyelets on there, 8 on a mid, 9 on a high, very easy to spot that quickly. And the same with these swooshes or non-swooshes. In the case of today's one, it does have a swoosh on the side. So what I was going to do is I thought, you know what I'll do is I'll compare it back to my favorite pro. Now my favorite Foamposite of recent times is this right here. That's the Shattered Backboard 1 Foamposite Foamposite 1. So it doesn't really make sense to look at that and compare it to today's shoe because today's shoe's a pro. So what we'll do is we'll go for the other of my favorites. So if those Shattered Backboards are my top of most recent Foamposites, underneath that comes what I call the University Red, which should be behind me here on the green screen right now. And I thought that would be a good way to sort of have that and then compare that to what we've got today, that USA, because there are some similarities, but there's one massive difference that is really the signature of the shoe, to be honest, and I'm sure you guys already know what I'm talking about. But the other thing is we should bring up the Seoul Air Force Ones. Why am I talking about, not Seoul, I've done that many times in my videos, the South Korea Air Force Ones, which is a shoe that I talked about a few days ago, and then, was it yesterday? Might as well bring that up as well, Nike Air Max 90 Fly Ease USA's. And the reason I'm bringing those two up is because I said the same thing in those videos that I'll say about today's USA Foamposite, is to me what we're looking at is months, if not years, of the brands working really hard to time a shoe drop just right. I mean, they must spend hours, hundreds of work hours working out exactly the right date to drop this shoe. For what reason? To ride the wave of hype that is the Olympics. When's the perfect time to drop this shoe before the Olympics so that by the time the Olympics come and Team USA are garnering all the gold medals, that this shoe will have had enough time out there in the world to actually carry some of that momentum out of the Olympics. So I think they work a long time on that. And those South Korean Air Force Ones are to do with the South Korean football team, which would have been at the Olympics in just over a month's time, had the Olympics not been cancelled and put back to next year, or postponed and put back to next year, not cancelled yet. And then, like I said, yesterday's video, which was Fly E's and Nike Air Max 90 USA's, the same thing, even though it doesn't specifically say Team USA or say that this is an Olympic sneaker. I mean, you can't bring out a USA themed sneaker 1 month before the Olympics and not say that that's going to be about Team USA and about gold and Olympic glory and stuff like that. And then some of the shoes, I think they're able to put a pause on them and say, you know what, this shoe has to actually come when the actual Olympics are happening, so we're not going to drop it on the date that we assign for it. And when they do that, that creates a hole in the sneaker drop date sort of calendar, and they have to bring a different shoe and put that in it. Or, just like those Air Force Ones and just like yesterday's Fly E's Air Max 90s, they don't move it and they say, well, you know, sucks to be us, we're just going to have to go with that original drop date. And that's what I see with these Foamposite Pro USA's. It's a shoe that's designed to carry that kind of Team USA theme into the Olympics. And it could have been quite a big year for the Olympics if you think about the number of personalities out there in the basketball world. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and of course LeBron James and Steph Curry, people like that who have signature shoes. And that's why I'm choosing those guys, is because they all have their own signature shoe and signature line. And if they are on Team USA, I'm not saying they would have been, because they weren't actually decided when the coronavirus came along and messed everything up. But if those guys were on Team USA, then the shoes that they wear, massive hype. Gold medal, look at my shoes, go and buy them. So this Foamposite, you know, USA, I can't not say, you know, that this isn't tied to the Olympics. It must be, you know, hoping to get a bit of that sort of, what's the word, a slipstream. That's the word I'm looking for when you have a racing car and it has a slipstream behind and you use that slipstream to gather your own momentum. The slipstream of the Olympics, and then the shoe trying to use that to come through. And that's why it's a shoe that's out of its time. I said in the title of this video that this is why is the Nike Air Foamposite Pro USA a shoe that's out of its time, is because it's a year away from when it should be dropping next year, because the Olympics have moved. But it's just too big a machine to change everything. The whole sneaker industry, the whole Nike machine, you can't change direction. Personal information for you guys, and you might be interested in this, but my old man, my old dad, he used to call himself an oil tanker. Odd analogy, you know, I mean, some people want to give themselves some kind of image that they project to the world. My dad wanted to project an image of an oil tanker, and I was like, dude, Dad, what are you talking about? Why that? And what he meant was that an oil tanker, when it's, you know, chugging along through the oceans, if you turn the wheel to actually ask the boat to turn right, because of the weight and the momentum of this thing and the inertia, even if you turn the wheel, it can sometimes take 5 kilometers before the boat itself starts to turn. That's how much sort of weight they have. And what my dad was saying is he's not the kind of guy to make changes very quickly. He's not a sort of spontaneous, you know, go with the flow kind of guy. He's like, you know, I've got my routine, I've got my pace, I've got my direction. And I see that, you know, in many respects, that's the sneaker industry. It's an oil tanker. And sometimes, you know, even if you want to turn the wheel and change it, it's like, too late. You know, we have to drop this shoe on this date, even though, you know, the Olympics have gone now or whatever, or the NBA finals are no longer happening at that time, but still they're dropping the shoes that would have been a signature of, you know, somebody's run through the NBA finals. So so shoe out of time, that's my kind of take on this shoe. But before, you know, not before, but now in this part of the video, I want to get into looking at the shoe itself and talking about the details on there. Now, I did say we'd use those University Reds as a template, so I'll bring up, you know, let's go with the heel of the University Reds. I think I can show you the heel of the University Reds, and the reason I want to do that is because I want to flip it out and then have a look at the heel of these USA's. And the signature thing on there that I'm most interested in is the swoosh. And in the case of the University Reds, I just thought they had a great balance between all the colours on there. Predominantly a white, almost a pearly white sneaker, with then a sort of second tone of black and then a lower tone of red, which kind of made you question why they called it University Red. But anyway, but then on these guys, you know, it's that red, white and blue motif that they're going for. And you can see on the heel there, on that blue, solid blue upper that dominates the shoe, you've got that white swoosh. But if we come forward and come to the front of the shoe, on the lacing sort of system on all Foamposite Pros, that's where you see another swoosh. On the back there on the heel that I've already showed you, and then on that lacing system down towards the front of the shoe, you can see a swoosh in there, and again it's in that white motif. And I kind of dig that the two swooshes are the same colour. They usually do that, to be honest, but I think it just makes sense and it really holds the shoe together. And then right between the two of those, you've got the actual swoosh on the side of these guys, which gives you that most predominant amount of red to give you the balance of the three colours. red, white and blue, big swoosh on the side, embedded in that beautiful blue upper. So it's a great upper as far as I'm concerned. It's got the right balance of the colours on there. But then if we come around to the tongue area, which is the final place where you get that kind of red, white and blue motif going on, you can see that they've got that standard Air Foamposite Pro tongue design going on there, and in it they've got that air unit. It's can I call it an air unit? Air branding would probably be a better word. And in the case of these guys, it's a red unit, branding unit, and within it you've got the branding in that blue writing, which I thought was kind of interesting. I was expecting to see white on there somewhere. I think red and blue don't contrast each other very well, so sometimes blue writing on red, the blue can kind of be absorbed into the red, and I think that is actually the case here, and they might have been better off going with white on red or blue on white or white on blue or something like that. So having the white in there would have made a bit more sense. But all in all, you know, that upper on this sneaker is fine, you know, with the red, white and blue motif, the Team USA, the USA going on there, it all fits together really, really nicely. The final thing though, and I'm going to go down the route which you might not agree with, and that's saying I don't like this final thing I mentioned earlier, that it might be the signature feature of these shoes. I'm not a huge fan of a gum sole on a sneaker unless it makes sense in terms of the entire sneaker. So when I look at a red, white and blue motif, I don't understand why they put a gum sole on there. So I know that that's a big deal on this sneaker. I know a lot of people are looking at that and talking about the gum sole side of things. I'm really picky about when a gum sole goes on a sneaker, and to be honest, the best gum sole I've seen on a sneaker was actually an Ultra Boost 19 that went with Toy Story 3 or 4. I don't know how many Toy Stories there's been. I've got a feeling it's only 3, but it might be 4. But anyway, there was a Woody inspired Ultra Boost 19, and it was kind of yellows and browns and whites on the upper, and then a gum sole on there really fit in with the rest of the shoe. Whereas if you look at this red, white and blue, you know, USA, it's all about those 3 colours, and then putting in a very light gum sole as well. It's not even a standard sort of gum sole, it's a bit lighter than normal. It just doesn't jive for me, it doesn't fit very well together. And of course, you know, other people out there will have a difference of opinion and think differently about these shoes, and that's just the way it goes. But that's my take on it, and that's my video for today. Now, I did say it's the afternoon of Saturday, and this is Sunday's video. It's actually 3:30 in the afternoon. I like it when I get to shoot these videos earlier than normal, because usually I'm shooting in the middle of the night after my little one's gone down for her bedtime, not her nap time, which she's in right now. So that gives me a bit extra time to put this video together and get it ready for you guys for Sunday afternoon. So I hope you appreciate that. I hope you appreciate the content. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out that content. But as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.